And that it is a beautiful Monday morning. Good morning to you, my dear friends. You have just stepped into the hottest spot there is on the Gulf Coast, and that is Sunshine's Corner. Trusting you had a wonderful weekend because we've got a great show lined up for you today. As always, I want to encourage you to tell somebody to tell somebody. When you want to be a part of a show that's going to have you interactive with it, this is where you need to be. Keep in mind now, today, that you can call in, you can text in to be a part of the show, 850-432-7768. You can text or call that number. And I'm just going to jump right into the happenings because we've got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to run on over to my right and welcome my fantastic guest in with me today, Miss Robin Reshard. Thank you. And of course, my sweetness, Gregory Pookie.
Yes,
Hey, Pookie.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you
good
guys
morning.
for getting up so early to come down and talk with me today because I think there's so many things that we're going to share that's so imperative that the community know of. But what we all do to make it a better place.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know what? I'm going to kick off. I'm going to start with the ladies first
Yes,
of all. I want
of
Robin
course,
to
of
introduce herself first of all.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
everybody knows Robin because she does so much in the community. You are a very much so valuable to us, and it wouldn't be right to have you in that chair. Got to have you. Well, Robin, you go ahead and tell everybody who's new about you and what you do here in Pensacola.
Well, thank you, Sunshine, number one, for having me with this young, fine gentleman here.
Yeah.
So you got the young people in on a
I
Monday
mixed it up.
morning. You have a Monday morning young crowd. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I am excited to be here. Thank you so much for the platform. I tell stories about Black people.
Right.
And most of them are true. So it's not something you can put on a tax return, right? The storyteller, I've been called a local historian. I call myself a researcher. I am nosy, inquisitive, curious, whatever you want to call that.
I hear you.
I love the experience of people. I love the stories of people. I love all of who I am, being a woman, being African American, being American, being
Yes.
An individual, a wife, a mother, a community member. I love all of that. And so I choose to celebrate all of that.
Absolutely.
And I do that through, right now, through the Kukua Institute,
There you go.
which is a nonprofit celebrating art, history, science, and technology through African American stories. And so, I've done a number of things, but in honor of my grandmother, God rest her soul, at 104, she's like, I don't know what to tell people you do. And so I came up with that. I said, Granny, just tell them I tell stories about Black people.
There you go.
And most of them are true.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I love it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Robin. And let's get in touch with Pookie here because now Pookie is the hands of the community, y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Pookie.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to both of you, ladies who I look up to, who I thank God for being a part of my life. My name is Gregory Thornhill, better known as Pookie, the Southern Gent, all of that, the obituary man, that's me. I am grateful to have been blessed with these hands. God-given talent, gifted hands. Enterprises is my baby. I thank God for it. I started off with just graphics, and then God opened doors for me to be able to start promoting and doing events and different stuff in the city, and of course giving back. I just believe in it's a blessing to never forget the bridges that brought you over, and I know that I would not be who I am today or who I'm trying to be today if it were not for people like Miss Sonshine and Miss Robin Reshard. Giving back and giving of themselves and pouring into me. So I'm just grateful to be standing on the shoulders of so many great and wonderful individuals in my city, Pensacola, Florida.
Absolutely. Well, you know, Robin, I'll tell you what, because it's so many things that you do. And let me encourage everybody now, if you've got a question you want to talk to Robin, if you want to talk to Gregory, a.k.a. Pookie, you can call 850-432-7768. I encourage you to get in touch because, Robin, you are a wealth of information. I mean, so much information. Tell everybody how you got the, I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
the Kukua Institute.
Yes, say it again.
Kukua.
Kukua. Yes. Now tell everybody about that because I want people to understand how valuable that is in our community.
So in Swahili, Kukua means growth.
You see what I mean? Why I didn't say anything?
And so it is to grow these stories, to discover, share, celebrate, and grow stories about African Americans in science, history, art, and technology. So my very bad joke is my husband and I, Lloyd, we have a happy marriage because he likes science and tech and I like art and history. So this is how we get it together.
Yes, ma'am.
We get it together. But growing up, so Gregory talked about standing on shoulders. Growing up, I grew up very country, very rural, in a little town called Natural Steps, Arkansas. Whoop, whoop, Natural Steps.
Come on, that's just it.
I'm just saying, we don't have a banner or anything, but I'm just saying, Natural Steps, 3 stop signs. Even the volunteer fire department left. I'm just saying, it's a small community. It's a small community. But I grew up hearing these stories that I thought were fantastical from my mother, from my father, about their ancestors. My grandmother was born in 1913. She didn't pass until 2017, almost 104. I grew up hearing these stories about them. So I do, because Gregory does a great job with his, what he says, the obituary man, but with his obituaries, telling his stories.
He did some stuff for me.
Yes. So I grew up hearing these stories, and I thought, well, they can't be true. This is just my daddy making jokes and, you know, and just kind of embellishing. 99.9% of these stories were true. There's a little embellishment, but 99.9% were true. He was a fan of historical fiction. I would sneak into their bedroom and read his books. My mama said, who's a teacher, my mom's like, she shouldn't be reading those books. And Daddy said, at least she's reading.
Right.
Exactly. So here I'm reading these books and not really at that age, not really able to discern between history and fiction, but enjoying the stories of it all. And so when Lloyd and I got a call from a friend of ours who's an environmentalist, Christian Wagley, many people know him, environmentalist, and he said, hey, a house in your neighborhood in Belmont de Villiers is getting ready to be demolished. You need to help. And I'm like, Christian, we know nothing about preservation. We know nothing about, you know, this. Why should we care? Did a black person live there? So get it in mind. Get it in mind. Yeah. And so he said, well, you need to look at it. I promise you, Sonshine, when I walked in there, the angels were singing. It was a house built in the 1880s, yes, that they were going to either move to make way for another development. What I call new stories at this point. And so I had not. Lloyd walked in there. He saw something totally different. He was like, "What is this?" Don't
say what Lloyd said. Okay.
Yes, I can say it on camera. And so then, you know, we talked to the community, the Belmont de Villiers community, and people were like, "Listen, y'all can do this. Y'all can do this." We met with the owners of the house, who were then trying to again move it so that they could put a retention pond there. And the community, when I say the community came out and worked with us on this, again, we had no ideas. In the process of doing this, when we were trying to figure it out, I called a friend of mine. I will give her a shout out, Bentina Terry, who is still with the Southern Company at the time, was with then Gulf Power, a powerful corporate and community woman. I called her and I said, listen, we don't know what we're doing, but we know we need some help. We have this is the budget. And she said, well, I want to give to you, but I'm not giving to your company. You need to do something else. and so then that was the impetus for us to start the nonprofit to do that.
When you say, I know you said about reading and with the Kukua.
Kukua, you got it.
With the young people, we're trying to get young people into the habit of reading more because because reading is so powerful.
Absolutely.
It's just knowledge, right? Is there a lot of participation from the community as far as getting students, people, everybody in?
My Lord, yes. We work with schools, we work with nonprofit, we work with after-school programs, we work with seniors. So it's history doesn't care what age you are.
It doesn't.
It wants you to be involved. It wants you to celebrate the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Absolutely.
And so for the reading part, it's how I learned to love reading. I snuck into my parents' room again. We couldn't touch. My mother was a teacher, early elementary, so we couldn't touch her books. She was like, I paid a lot for these books. Y'all can't touch them. So we would sneak in. They're in heaven now, so they don't know. We would sneak in,
Mama.
But these books that Daddy he had these historical fiction. He had the Western books. He had the Ian Fleming, The Destroyer. What's the guy? James Bond. James Bond books.
Did you hear that description? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. I know you don't want to pay no, what you call that, fee for singing. So
But there you go.
Yeah.
Hello.
But what?
Don't have
So
to worry
he
about
had
that
these,
with me.
Yeah. He had these sort of He-Man books, but these other books that he had, this historical fiction, I fell in love with it. These incredible stories, and so and I had always loved to read, and
Right.
so that was the thing. So to answer your question, it's not that. For me, it's not that I wanted to learn about history.
All right.
I did, Columbus sailed the ocean blue in
Yes, ma'am.
1492. That was the deal.
Right.
The thing is, I wanted to know the stories. I wanted to know about the people. I wanted to know those interesting
Absolutely.
circles around that. And that's to get children and adults to
Right.
read, is you
I
have
agree.
to find something that interests them. I
Yes,
say,
ma'am.
I have my license plate says read a book, so I can't do anything wrong. My license plate says read a book. And people say, well, listen, I don't care what you read.
Uh-huh.
I may not agree with what you read. I may
Right.
not like what you read. But I want you to read. I want you to read because in it enlarges your mind. And the hope is that when you read that, you will then become interested in the full truth.
Absolutely.
Because everything that we put in books is not, even
Not-
that I write, even that Gregory writes. You
That's
know, in
right.
obituary, we make people look real good.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord,
They were
doesn't
a
he?
scoundrel, and we make them look like a saint.
And he does his job so well.
Yes.
And Pooka just
Yeah.
thinking with that,
Yeah.
with the fact that we're even speaking about reading, you've got to be able to create what you do. You
Yes,
got to have
ma'am.
that knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying?
That is
So
correct.
tell everybody so we can get in depth because I called them spur of the moment back here a couple of years ago when my sister-in-law passed away,
Oh,
right?
boy.
And I said, Pookie, I need this. Pookie said, send me the picture. Then I had all these pictures flowing in. But he made it work.
Yes, ma'am.
And I mean, like, come on, tell it, because your passion is your hands. He calls it gifted hands.
Yes, ma'am.
So-
yes, ma'am. So and it really is, Miss Sunshine. Miss Robin too. I've never taken a class on graphic design. Everything that I
Really?
do is self-taught. God gave it to me, and that's why sometimes people don't understand, but that's why we've always been taught that what's for you is just for you. It's just
Right.
it comes without repentance.
Right.
I'm serious. Like a lot of times, majority of the times, I don't know the families. I don't know the person that's deceased. And if you all remember, there was a time where we didn't have to do any of this. So it was like I really wouldn't have kind of had a job. Our churches did it for us. My grandmother was, my great grandmother
same
was
little
the
picture. On that same little piece
church
of
clerk
paper.
and secretary at Emmanuel Baptist Church for
Yeah.
40 plus years. So she would handwrite it. They didn't have typeset and anything like that. They would handwrite those obituaries. But when someone would pass away in your family, they would go. Remember, they came to the house with cakes and green beans
Big old
and chicken and
All that good stuff.
mashed potatoes and roll. And they would sit there and
Peach cobbler.
jot
I'm sorry.
down, yes,
Hey,
ma'am,
sorry,
and
sorry.
jot down.
I
the
think
inf-
Robert likes peach cobbler.
I know that's right, but they would jot down that information, like the name. They had all, and a lot of times our grandparents stuff like that. When my grandmother passed away, God rest her soul, we found a little tin box that she had. Well, she had wrote out her obituary, and every now and
wow.
then I do, and I tell people, I said, now I don't start on the program until the person has passed away. I don't care if they're in hospice or they're not doing, because God has the final say, and
Always.
I've seen people in hospice that live and and do well. So, but it's always good to jot down key things, stuff that's not going to change. So you know that your family may grow, so that part you don't worry about. But the name, the location, your parents' name,
Right.
the church affiliation, stuff like that 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 doesn't typically change. It's always good to have that written down. But my family, they fuss at me a lot. They say, you do so much and you run and you go and sit at those people's houses for hours and stuff like that. I said, but somebody has to do it. Again, the churches used to do it. COVID stopped a lot of that, and the secretaries and clerks, they would do that for us. But now, my job is to, and like I tell people, I put myself into it. I give of myself. So I have to. You have to empathize. You have to sympathize. And you have to put yourself. And my thing is this: if it happened to me, the worst thing in the world, you already grieving, you're not
Exactly.
thinking clear. It's always important to have one person that can have a sound mind. I know, with us, us is when somebody passes away, we party, we have reunions, we have a good time, but someone has to have a clear sound mind to be able to get the
get that
business
thing
done,
together.
because the business has to be done. So I have, God placed it on my heart, so I have like a little checklist. So I said, don't worry about writing it out. Don't make me double work. Don't make me double work, which is formatting it. Please don't format it. America, do not format it. Just send me the questions that I asked. And it's really just name, date of birth, date of death, place of birth, job, employment, church affiliation, hobbies, and personalities. And then what I do from there is I pray over every design that I do, and I really so just based off those questions that you give me when you talk about the hobbies. So if it's a person that likes singing or a person who likes sports, then when I see that, my next question is, okay, well, what was their favorite sports team? So that's how the themes come about. So if you like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, then okay, let's do a design that got some of the Tampa Bay. If they were military, okay, let's incorporate the Army, or let's incorporate, the Navy or the Marines or something like that. So everyone gets, even though there are different templates, and somebody may have the same template, everybody's going to have something different.
Absolutely.
I'm going to
ask you right there, Pookie.
Yes, ma'am.
Because he's going on right there. We got to go.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Come back and
okay, I will.
But
yes,
as you can see, what I'm tying in here together is the fact that with the Kakua, right? You talk about reading, knowledge, and knowing. That all ties together with what you do.
Yes, ma'am.
You got to have the right knowledge to put it on paper.
Yes.
Stay close. We're not gone yet. We've got more information coming back to you right after this commercial break right here at Sunshine's Corner.
There are many reasons someone may need in-home care, whether it may be respite care, them recovering from surgery, or having a chronic condition. Having someone dedicated and reliable is imperative. Supplemental Support Care Services was created to provide to those who are in need with quality care that they deserve in the home. Taking it a step further, our main goal is to ensure that Supplemental Support Care Services is where the love and care is top priority.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services is a one-stop shop because you can come get your windshield replaced, and right behind that replacement at the same appointment, we will calibrate the cameras, and when you leave, everything's ready to go. There's no need to go to the dealership, or there's no need to come back for another appointment. We just take care of it at one time. We put the customer first, and we strive to do everything right the first time.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services, your one-stop shop with same-day service.
And welcome back to the hot spot that is Sunshine's Corner. We're getting into some great stuff today because you know what? I collaborate these two together. Why? Because look at this. Robin is talking about history reading. You're talking about the history of a person.
Yes, ma'am.
That has to be put on paper when they make that transition.
Yes, ma'am.
But I say the two because I try to connect people who have something in common. Because history. You understand what I'm saying? They do go together. Now, Pookie, I cut you off. Now, I want you to finish what you were saying before we go back to Robin.
Okay, let me see if I can get my...
He's okay. I remember where I was. He was going on about, you said you
right. So everybody, although you may see the same template, everybody has something different because everybody has a story to be told. And a lot of times families will say, oh, well, they were a quiet person or they didn't do much of anything. But I like to reiterate to them that everybody has a story. Mm-hmm. Whether you were somebody who didn't like taking pictures or you kind of were an introvert or you didn't do a whole lot, but there was still something unique about everybody. Mm-hmm. So my goal is to try to find something about that person and make it personal about them because it is about them. It is the last time or talking about history, this is something that, and I say, well, it may not be for you. It's not for that person because they're gone. They'll never see it. Right. It's for the children, the unborn generation, the children to come up to know, like, okay, this is my great grandmother. I never got a chance to meet her, but this is her life story. Mm-hmm. So I try to incorporate the important factors of them, and to tell a story, whether it's pictures or poems or sayings. And I love when people say, "Oh, this is their favorite saying," or something that they were always known for saying. I love to incorporate stuff like that, because you can read even by reading a book, or just, we do it all the time, just on social media. We'll read something and then we'll be like, oh, okay, it makes you feel like you knew that person. And you may have never met them a day in your life, but just reading their story is like, oh wow, like this is really nice. So it's very important to be concerned about the history of that person when I'm doing my job. So it's a blessing. I'm grateful for it. Like I said, I thank God for the gift. I thank God for each of you, because without you, there would be no me.
You're talking about the ones that are living, not the ones that are dead,
oh yes,
right?
oh no. What'd you say? Your dark humor. My dark humor is they die that I may live. Okay, if they don't leave here, I don't have a job.
So they heard you. If you were talking to them, they knew.
Yeah.
But no, to the families for sure. Thank you so much, because it's so important. And I will say this, and it's not a jab or anything at anybody, because you know I just believe that your gift makes room for you. Everybody can be doing the same thing, but we're not doing the same thing. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's a job that everybody cannot do. It's something that it takes a toll on you. 7 days a week, 365, somebody's gonna pass away. Somebody's gonna pass away every day.
Absolutely.
So there's no time off, because they pass away on Christmas. They passed away on Thanksgiving. They passed away on your birthday. So my job never ends.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's hard for my family and stuff to understand that oh, you run so much and you do so much. But I thank God for it. It's a charge to keep that I have. And I'm grateful that God has given me this gift to do what only I can do.
Let me say this. I keep hearing you saying about the gift. God gives all of us a certain gift.
Yes, ma'am.
And so nobody should be upset about your gift.
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody should be upset about what he gave you, because he gave me one.
Yes, ma'am.
And you focus on, he gave Robert.
Yes, ma'am.
But you focus on what he gave you,
yes,
and then you grow with that.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
just don't worry about what I'm doing over here. Do yours.
Right. Yes,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
just let it do what it do.
Yeah,
and I am so pleased with you, Robert. I mean, from the first day I met you years ago when I first got here.
I was 25 then too.
Oh, no. I'm stuck there too.
I know that's right.
Mine haven't moved either.
I know that's right.
But no, what you always, I love the key to education. That part in you remind me so much of my sister, rest her soul. She was an educator, but she was really an educator. And with you, I see that, and how the history of our community, the history of our people is top priority with you. And I commend you for that. Yes. And I commend the way that you teach the younger people about our history, because if you don't know your history, you don't know where you're going.
Well, the last thing that I want someone to do is to know these fantabulous things.
Come on.
That somebody did when they read Gregory's obituary that he wrote for them. So just like he sits down with the family and goes through that, juggles, if you will, some memories.
Exactly.
So by asking those questions, and he said everybody has a story, and what I don't want is for somebody to read that in the obituary. I want people to experience this life of that person.
Exactly.
And so doing that, I'm very glad that he has this gift, because then he writes it. For a long time in this country, we did not value, and I'm not saying it's 100% complete, but we did not value the African American story.
I agree.
So the obituary was often the place where we found out things.
Yes,
That's sort of the downside of devaluing or not valuing somebody.
Exactly.
And so the New York Times did a piece they started in 2018, and the title of it, just because I have our title in my head, but they did a piece because they found out that these amazing African Americans did not have obituaries. And so the first one they did was the civil rights activist, the suffragist Ida B. Wells.
Oh, come on.
Ida Wells
Yes.
Barnett. Ida Barnett Wells. Ida B. Wells, I get her name mixed up. Journalist. So this amazing woman who did it for Americans, who did it for women, who did it for African Americans, did not have an obituary. So the first one that they did in March of 2018, the New York Times, they did Ida Wells. And so, Councilwoman Tiniade Broughton, we had done the T.T. Wentworth KKK project here. And so after that, she said, we need to do something happy.
That's her. That sounds like her. That
talk
sound
about
like her.
having something that's heavy on your heart. Let's talk about the KKK and T.T. Wentworth's involvement with that. That's heavy.
That's real heavy.
And even as you're trying to make sure that you tell the full story.
That's right.
That's heavy. And so I'm laughing about it now because the light part was that we did this obituary project. But we found that, and we took it off of, she was encouraged by the New York Times series, which is still going on. We're going to do it just for that month. It's still going on today, 4 or 5 years later, 6 years later.
Awesome.
And so ours is called Writing the Past, RIGHTING, but it's also writing the past, is penning those things, because a lot of these folks did not have obituaries. And what Gregory is doing is writing the past. Literally, he's writing the past. But just as you said about, it's not for the people here now, it's for the ones, these future generations.
That's right.
Yeah, so we as historians, as researchers, as nosy people will go back, and that is sometimes the only place where we can do it. Well, if you don't have an obituary, whether it's in the paper, and I really do encourage people to put those obituaries in the paper.
Yes,
I know Facebook is important, but writing those things, the paper has been around since
umpteen years.
Jesus, Mother Teresa, Buddha,
Everybody.
let's go back. Yeah.
All those.
King Tut, let's go back. We've had papyrus, all that. And so here we started writing these obituaries of people who did not have one. John Sunday, local famous gentleman, Civil War veteran, developer, builder, family man. He donated the land to build St. Joseph Church at his sister's, Mercedes Sunday Ruby, at her bequest. He sold the land to the Catholic diocese, and then he donated the $3,000 back to them. His obituary, he'd done all these things, worth today $20 million, let's say. Whoa. He did all these things that had a 3-line obituary about him passing.
Wow. Really?
This dude,
Yes, ma'am.
It's powerful. And so the first one that we did in 2023, matter of fact, Councilwoman Broughton and Tiniade and Scott Satterwhite wrote it, was on John Sunday, because he died in January. And so we did that January 1925. We did the first obituary on him. And every 2 weeks we wrote an obituary, somewhere between 800 and 1,000 words, so in partnership with the Pensacola News Journal. So it was a team of writers who did this and edited. I'd say our cat herder was Dr. Jamin Wells at UWF. And Joe Vinson and I were the lead editors on it, and we wrote as well. But we went back into these lives and put it in context with the time, but also gave them a sense of humanity.
Absolutely.
Even as some people, depending on how they died or depending on how they lived, didn't think that they should have it. So what he's doing is really important. And I encourage people to not be embarrassed about their loved ones, past or present. Everybody has a story. You never know when that story is going to impact somebody. 2, 3, 7 generations down the line, but we have to write it. We have to document it. It's so important. Facebook is good, but listen, print those pictures out. I think we've taken
Facebook to a level. Oh my God,
man!
Facebook. I think that
I have nothing bad to say about Facebook. Facebook has been a blessing to me.
I'm not saying bad. I'm not saying
no, but I understand. I understand.
That's it.
You know, I understand.
You have to put it in context. For history, it is, because then who can access that? And so our public archives, like what UWF has, like what the Ella Jordan House or Chappie James Museum, they have these archives. What we have at the Cuckoo Institute are so important to allow the public to come in. And so we have taken private archives and commercialized them in this way of Facebook and things like that. And so if you don't have access to
then you're left.
Someone passed, and we were talking about him earlier, someone that we both knew, and a friend of mine called and said, I saw it on Facebook.
That's how I found out.
And that's the challenge, that if you only rely on these friends that you have in this network, then you miss out on this blessing of this extended celebration of life and this extended knowledge of it. So yeah, it's not bad on Facebook.
Not bad on your booking.
No, I'm just saying. But okay, So
and that's probably the age difference.
That's right.
I'm 25, he's 24. So
I'm 26.
Right.
I'll give you that much.
Right. But to add to that though, but say for instance, something that, and I do appreciate, you know, the paper and the newspaper, because there was a time where I remember my grandmother and them like, oh, you had to go to the paper to find out who passed away. But just think about it, in one click, thousands of people can get that same information right then. So I get it. I definitely get it. But I love, you know.
I get it.
Because there are some people.
I get it. You're right. Listen, I use digital archives,
it's just the convenience of it though. But I definitely do understand.
Yeah.
Because there's some people a little bit more mature than us.
Yes,
You know, a little bit of it might not go to Facebook.
But everybody got them. I be seeing them. Y'all see them. They be looking on there, and they may not know how to go and click everything, but they know how to pull up. They see what they want to see.
I was on Twitter for a hot moment, and I said hot moment. My daughter said you should be on Twitter, and so I'm like, listen, I just got.
You just got used to one thing.
I understand phone calls. I just got used to text and email. So now you want me to get on this, and so I got it, and I sent out, and I said this is gonna be bad, but I said I sent my first twit. And she said,
No,
Ma, I don't think that you should be on
You
Twitter.
don't get on them. Don't get them.
But as you can see, though, but you see how this is so important to the community, and I tell you, and Pookie, I'm looking at him while he's talking. He gets so deep, he gets so focused. Yeah. You notice that he's so focused because that's what you're doing is such a great thing.
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
we're coming up close now to Juneteenth. And there's some things that I know that you have, there's some things that you're working on. Can you believe what, tomorrow is the last day of this month?
Oh, my goodness.
Can you believe that time is, I mean, we're going to be at the end of this year, be gone before we know it.
Yes, ma'am.
But with Juneteenth which is a very, very important, such an important holiday for our community. And we want to educate everybody so they can know about Juneteenth and see why the celebration is so important. And what we're going to do after we come back from this break, we're going to go deeper into that with the program that you all have coming up on Juneteenth this year, okay? Yes. So listen, everybody, stay close. We're going to come back with just more and more information. You see, I always believe that knowledge is power. This is where you get it right here at the hot spot. Stay close. We'll be back on Blab TV. Need a new outfit for a special occasion? Look no further than Viola's Men's Apparel. Viola's has been providing the latest styles and accessories in Pensacola for over 20 years now. We have clothes for every occasion, and we offer consultations and group discounts. You can trust that our care, quality, and class will be unmatched. Viola's Men's Apparel for all of your menwear needs.
This is Wayne at Icon Automotive in Robertsdale, Alabama, and I wanted to tell you more about our powertrain warranty forever. It comes with any vehicle we sell that has 80,000 miles or less at no additional cost to you. We put our vehicles through a tough safety and mechanical inspection before it can have the powertrain warranty forever, giving you a peace of mind with your purchase. This warranty is good anywhere in the country, and it covers 100% of parts and labor with no mileage limit, and is covered as long as you own the vehicle. Come pick out your dealership car at non-dealership pricing with a powertrain warranty forever at Icon Automotive.
Watch a new episode of Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m. Hosted by Sergeant Melanie Peterson and David Craig. Your tips may be eligible for a cash reward, featuring items about officer training, various aspects of police work, and crime prevention information. You'll hear about upcoming family-friendly engagement events as well. Don't miss Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m.
Hi, my name is Brett McCabe. This is my wife Tanya, and we're the owners of Pensacola AC and Auto Service Center.
From the moment you walk in the door, we are here to take care of you. Honesty and excellence are the standard of our team. Our goal is to give you peace of mind from oil changes to AC repair. All of our repairs come with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. We have a clean, welcoming waiting room with free Wi-Fi. When you leave here, you will have peace of mind. Come visit us and experience auto repair from people who care.
And welcome back to the hot spot. We are here at Sunshine's Corner talking about so many things that are going on in the community, getting ready to do so much more. And with Juneteenth right around the corner, a celebration above all celebrations, I know that you're going to have something going on, right?
I am a part of UWF's celebration.
Okay.
The University of West Florida is doing a celebration actually on Juneteenth. I know a lot of the ones are Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
so they're
the
going to do it
15th
actually
they're doing it a lot.
Yeah,
on the
which
15th.
is beautiful.
That's right.
Absolutely beautiful. It allows for residents and tourists to really celebrate this national
Exactly.
holiday, this American holiday. And so they are doing. I just forgot Barbara's last name, but Barbara, the head of the Black Employees Association, has invited me to. And I'm writing a new piece about it. So, you know, in Florida, we have this deal about May 20th, which is when Florida, when African Americans or enslaved people in Florida were emancipated officially. And then we have June 19th, which is when African Americans or enslaved people, African Americans who were enslaved in Texas were emancipated.
Exactly.
So even though the emancipation happened, it was written September 1862, officially happened January 1st, 1863. There was a huge, like they say with Barry Bonds, there was a huge asterisk there. A few asterisks there. So there may have been a whole state where enslaved people were emancipated. There may have been a state and then certain areas where they were emancipated, and only counties were emancipated. So not every enslaved person in that January 1st, 1863 date were emancipated.
Absolutely.
It was this sort of rollout deal. And so for Florida and Texas, it happened 1865.
Exactly.
And so I'm writing a piece based on a true event that happened in 1884. So here in Pensacola, this was the 19th celebration. They call it Emancipation Celebration. They very clearly celebrated May 20th. And so we have this sort of love-hate relationship. You always hear people going, I'm going to Tallahassee in May. I'm not celebrating Juneteenth. Well, listen, let's celebrate it all. There's enough room for it all. And so, but two gentlemen were involved in an accident, one white, one black. They were both railroad workers going out to an emancipation celebration in 1884. They were, one was a fireman, one was a brakeman. And so the one gentleman, Abraham Jackson, the brakeman, perished a couple of days later. So I'm writing the piece about him, and it's as a historical fiction piece about how he would have found his love. And so it's a little romantic, you know. I'm still there, yeah. A little romantic, but interweaving history with that. So not only the celebration, because he was in truth going out to celebrate Florida's emancipation, and they were going out on a car there. And then
see this wealth of information right here.
Oh man, listen.
Did you see that?
History is beautiful.
I love it.
It's beautiful. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. And so then how the world then celebrates his love, was able to celebrate the June 19th. But it's 4 dates in there that are crucial to this story.
Absolutely.
And they weave Florida's emancipation and Texas emancipation together all around Juneteenth. So I'm going to do that.
That's absolutely beautiful. And I want to encourage everybody, not just African Americans. I want this to go across the board. I want everybody to understand the love, how it got there, how important it is. Be you red, yellow, black, white, or brown. This is history.
That's right. It's American history.
It's American history.
And it's not just me talking, which, you know, sometimes you're like, okay, Robin, that's enough of your voice. We're going to have these world-class singers. My son being one, who just came back from New York and is looking to sing with the Met. So I'm really, really proud of his journey. And then Eric Dozier, then fantastic, world-renowned Eric Dozier, who is here local now. I'm still so excited about that.
Right.
Musician and composer, librettist, writer, historian. So Eric Dozier is going to be a part of it. And Dr. Sandra Winborn.
All right now.
What you say, yes, Dr. Winborn. So we're going to have these world-class artists right here to bring this story to life.
And that's so the beauty.
Yeah, and it's an original piece. I'm so excited about it because it tells our history, it tells the story of Pensacola, of the emancipation of Juneteenth, of love.
That's it.
It tells the story
it's a
of
love
that.
Story.
Yeah. So this is at UWF on Juneteenth, and she's going to have it, or the program is between 10:30 and 1:30. They're having that in that time. I think she said they're going to feed you, and everything else is free and open to the public.
Well, come on, you
I'm
can't
not
miss that.
sure.
Nobody can miss that.
I'm not sure what time our performance is, but it's going to be. But they can find more information out at I think uwf.edu, so they can find out more information about there. And I'll share it with you when we
Please
have
do, so I can make sure that's keep going.
Yeah.
And Pookie, I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
you've got something called Rhythm and Blues.
Yes, ma'am. So it began. This will be our third annual. So this will be the third year. Councilman Taniade Broughton and the city of Pensacola, they started the Journey to Juneteenth events. So that would be.
I think it's 3 years
Yes,
ago.
so 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So. Of course, we'll be back again. It started out with in the title of it's R&B and Blues Lawn Party, like Freedom Party was we're changing the name to Freedom Party because of course we live in Florida. The first year the vision was a lawn party picnic, and everybody just out with the lawn chairs and just enjoying. Just enjoying being free and fellowshipping together in unity, because I'm definitely an advocate for unity and inclusions, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Now, the first year we were outside, and I believe it was 150 degrees outside. It was the hottest day I've ever experienced in my life.
It was hot.
And then on last year, it rained all weekend, so we were indoor. So I think I'm gonna just take a conscious decision. We're gonna probably be indoors again this year, and it's gonna be on Juneteenth again. The Watsons do a really big celebration down at Museum Plaza on that Saturday.
The 15th.
Right, on the 15th. So that Wednesday, which is the actual Juneteenth day, will be tentative is going to be at the Bayview Community Center, the Bayview Senior Community Center, where we were last year, from 2 to 7. So we won't bump heads with UWF, and I'm going to try my best to get by there because I do want to experience that. And I was speaking to someone about Juneteenth, and they were saying, the education part of it, and I said, and that's beautiful. So hopefully Ms. Robin, if she's not too tired, she'll be able to run by Bayview and give us some of that.
Well, maybe we need to figure out how to do both.
Yes, ma'am. Try to educate some of the piece in.
My
like
musicians are going to go, what are you putting
Yes,
us
I
up
love it.
to?
Yes, they are definitely more than welcome. We're going to make sure we pencil them in and get them on board. But that's just my thing. Like I say, I'm only, Ms. Robin say I'm 24. But I am 30. I turned 34 on yesterday, thank God.
She's 10 years old, man.
And I
well, as Eddie Murphy said, you know what they say about happiness don't crack.
I know, that's right. Yes, ma'am.
he said money don't crack.
Yes, ma'am.
Happiness does
I
not
know that's
crack.
right.
Come on, Happy.
But the goal is to bridge the gap between the seniors of our community and the young people of our community. And that was my goal. That's what God gave me. And each year we have done that. We have had the Brownsville Silver Seniors there, and they're there to sing. And then we have the young. Some of the young dance teams, and, just coming together and have a beautiful freedom party because, again, unity starts at home, charity begins at home, and what better way to celebrate freedom, unity, and inclusion than bringing together our seniors of the community and our young people of the community when there's been so much bumping heads with the seniors and the young people. So what better way than to have Mother Maid there with the young people dancing and different people of the community, just coming together to just have a beautiful celebration. And, I tell people all the time, God has gifted me. I'm a party. I like to have a good time. I like to dance. So I have to use my gift to incorporate Juneteenth. So it's wonderful. We have different speakers there that come to educate us on the importance of Juneteenth because we just don't want to party. We want to party with a purpose. We don't just want to be partying just because we don't have anything to do. We do want to do it with a purpose. So I'm excited about it.
Well, this celebration where this tragedy happened, it was a celebration. It was a picnic.
Yes,
yeah, and
yes,
so it's like we do with the 4th of July, with Independence Day,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
It's what we all do. We barbecue.
Yeah, we like to eat. We want our barbecue. We want our barbecue. We want our music.
We may in the morning listen to PBS and the Air Force Choir, but in the after, we're marinating the ribs.
Yes,
come together, or the fireworks at night. As we do it as a community. Yeah,
it's our tradition to do. Even going back to the funeral service and the obituaries. Now we're gonna do the obituaries, we're gonna have the service, but we're gonna repass after it's all over with. We're gonna celebrate after it's over with. So it's our culture to do that.
These
so
celebrations are where we find out our history, because we, so funerals, weddings, unless you have a planned family reunion.
Took the
and
words
by
out
the way,
of it,
Pensacola, where camera? Pensacola is a wonderful place to have a family
Yes,
reunion.
it
Let me
is.
just put that out
Yes,
for
it
business.
is.
Pensacola, bring it all here,
Yes,
and tell about it on Blab, but bring it all here.
Right here.
Right here.
Say it one more time.
And so we have the beaches, we have the hotels, we have the history, we have the cultural experience, we have environmental ecotourism.
That's right.
We have the maritime tourism. We have all of this available, and this is where we find out a lot.
Don't make me laugh.
Wait, you mean my auntie is really my grandmother?
Right.
It's where
double kin. They call it double kin. Double kin.
Yeah, so when we find out, on the obituary, so in the country they call them outside children.
I know that's right.
My mother always said, you have no stepchildren, you have these are your children, these are your sisters, your brothers. This is where we often find out about our extended family. Yeah, so it's these challenges in our lives do present, as he has done with his business, it's amazing opportunities to learn.
No doubt. So everybody, you see, we get so excited, and we want you to keep, because this is just filled with so much information, but it's truth.
Yes, ma'am.
It is so true. Stay close. We're not going anywhere. We got more coming your way right after this on Blab TV.
I just remembered it's election day. Are you going to vote?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have time today.
Millions of eligible voters in America never make it to the polls or even register to vote. When you don't vote, you're letting other people make decisions for you and pick the things your taxes will pay for. Voting is more than a civic duty. It gives you a voice about the priorities and the future of your community and our nation. Voting gives you a seat at the table.
Do you want to create but don't know where to start? Our new fabric line will inspire you. If you can dream it, we can help you make it. From using kits that include everything you would need, to taking classes to create something more personalized, Daryl's is the place for you. No matter if you're just beginning or experienced, Daryl's has you covered. Find us at 6705 North Davis Highway, open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays.
The Reshard Institute, Pensacola's ear, nose, throat, and voice center. We welcome you to visit us at our convenient Davis Highway location in Pensacola. At the Reshard Institute, we offer the most advanced treatment available in a calm, stress-free environment. Since 2014, we've performed over 1,000 cases in office of balloon sinus surgery, as well as septoplasty and nasal procedures using oral sedation. The in-office procedures result in a faster healing time. Visit us and feel the difference.
Hello, my name is Eric, and this was my first visit to Little John's. The selection, the pricing here, and the customer service were outstanding. I would definitely recommend. The staff was very friendly, and they'll get you what you need.
Hi, this is John with Little John's Big and Tall here in Pensacola, Florida at 5700 North Davis Highway. Check us out at littlejohnsbigandtall.com, where we can take care of you with extra large up to 14X and large tall to 6X tall.
And welcome back to the hot spot, and that is Sunshine's Corner. Fantastic conversation that's going on today. So much history we're learning, and so many things that's going on in the community. That person who called and you hung up, call back. 850-432-7768. You can get on with us today. We'll get you on the air. Now, here's a text that came in. It says, two awesome people who I have met and enjoyed every second of our conversation. Ms. Robin, I really appreciate you and your husband's work in the community. Gregory Pookie, you are the one. Thank you both for all that you do. Thank you, Sunshine. Keep it up. Well, listen at this. We appreciate that because you see, the community, this is the thing I believe, knowledge is power. You hear me say that all along. But if you don't know the knowledge, what power can you have?
Yes, ma'am.
But you see, you have brought up some things today. You have taught today. You two, and how the two of these have blended together is absolutely phenomenal. And Robin, I tell you, when you talk about, even with the fact of bringing what's coming up with Juneteenth, how it's all just like a great big family reunion.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I want to do this. I want to look straight in this camera and say this. I want to invite everybody. There's nobody excluded.
Nobody.
Nobody is excluded. How do you learn unless you come on? We're just beautiful people celebrating the day that should be celebrated.
Yes, ma'am.
A day that you can celebrate as well. And I mean, I'm talking red, yellow, black, white, and brown because I want to. We're all such a
Yes,
beautiful
ma'am.
rainbow of people. But come on out to some of these celebrations that's going to be going on. I'm going to have Aaron and his wife Kimberly on when we get a little bit closer. Week after next, as a matter of fact, it's their date. But we're going to have them on as well to talk about Juneteenth.
Yes,
but the history that, Robin, you go so deep. And that's a good thing. That's education. Pookie, what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal. People are loving it as well. And I see your posts. I see what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
And the joy that you bring on social media. The younger generation uses social media just for what it's meant to be.
Yes, ma'am.
We 25 and 26-year-olds, we're getting into it.
Listen, you can teach old dogs
You
new
can.
tricks. You can.
All the new tricks. You know what I'm saying?
You can.
Roof,
You
roof.
can.
We're
Yeah.
getting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Robin, as you were talking about, I think I stopped you and you were going on about even with the two that merged together with all the history from May until June.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean, invite people to what you've got coming up. Because I mean, when the conversation is going, the clock ticks so fast.
It is on Mondays at June 17th. I'm getting my dates off. I think on June 17th, it is that Monday. It is at UWF in the Commons. It's free and open to the public. I think Barbara's asking for people to register just so they can have
a quick
an account. But you can register once you get there as well. And it's an opportunity to come together again to celebrate Juneteenth, to celebrate all of that, what you're saying, freedom, all
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
freedom that we all enjoy now because of these sacrifices of not only the people who fought and died,
That's right.
but the people who were enslaved,
Exactly.
who kept going under these atrocious circumstances, and they kept going and they kept going and they kept going so that we can be here today.
Absolutely.
And so it's 10:30 to 1:30. I'm writing a new piece and involving some old music, which is going to be some historic music, which is going to be, we're going to update it, you know, the music. So I'm really excited about that. It's at the heart of it, it's a love story.
Right.
It's a love story bound in history, but it's a love story about how this young man went back, and got his woman.
Come on now. That's a,
got his woman.
Man,
And that is based, that is based a little bit on a book called Freeman, where these, and it's based on these actual historical accounts of African American men who either made it to north of the Mason-Dixon line after they were free, or even if they had run away, they came back south to find their families.
Wow.
They have thousands of these accounts of African American men going back to find their woman, going back to find their families, even in danger. Some of them may have been in danger because of slave acts and things like that, or people who just wanted to cause them harm. But these historical accounts that they did to go back and find their woman. So I was really inspired by that those real accounts. And
that's
that
love.
book. Yeah.
That's what you call love.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
That's beauty.
Yeah. Listen,
right
I love my husband, but I don't know if I go into the belly of a whale to pull him out and be like, well, baby, I guess that whale gonna eat good tonight. It really does take this sacrifice, and to know that you that you love it. And we don't have to do that today.
Exactly.
Because they
As
did.
much.
Yeah. And I love the way that Gregory and Tiniande, that y'all are Kimberly and Aaron, that they're bringing the younger generation into this, because again, we may not want to learn pure history, but we want to know those stories around it. Yeah.
And
So
the best way to do that is, and the best way to do it, you got to do what works.
Yeah.
So if I know that Ms. Robin is the historian, she's the educator, and I have the gift of bringing people together, why not? And that's is
those
like I
together.
say, unity. it doesn't take anything from Ms. Robin, and it doesn't take anything from me.
I can get
to come
25
together.
people to come listen to me, but he can get 2,500.
And you're gonna come and educate. Like, so why would we not work together? Why would we not? You know what I'm saying? Why would we not?
Yeah.
You know,
collaborate.
That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah.
Collaborate.
Put those two
Yes, ma'am.
entities
Yes,
together.
We also use technology too. I want to make sure on the on the tech and science side, we also use like humanoid robots, insect robots to bring this history to life, virtual reality too. So there are a lot of different ways. When you talk about social media and technology, there are a lot of different ways that you can bring this history. You know, there are recreations, and I know that's going to be part of one. The reenactors who are coming, I think, at the Ella Jordan House, who are coming. Yeah, so it's so many different things. And people say, why will you have all of this, and why are you competing? No, we're not competing. We're not competing.
We don't even know what that word is.
Yeah,
we don't do that. We don't do that.
It's a collaboration because you're having at Bayview.
Yes,
Bayview can only hold so many.
That's
people.
right.
Yes,
So and UWF can only hold so
That's
many
right.
people, and so here is an opportunity. And if you have something going on at night, maybe you want to come
Yes,
during the
exactly.
day. If you have something going on at day, maybe you want to come during the night. Yeah, and so sometimes we do in our family, we split the beam.
There you go.
I'll go here, you go here,
Exactly.
so that we support
But you're there,
it.
but you're supporting each other.
supporting
You're
it, yeah,
supporting it.
that's it,
And
that's
see,
it.
Pookie, I know that you are when it comes to getting that word out there. Pookie is the man.
Yes, ma'am.
He makes it
I'm
happen.
grateful. I'm grateful for the platform. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And you're doing very well with your
Yes,
platform.
ma'am.
So
Thank you.
continue to do that. Don't let anything or anybody stop you.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep your focus. Keep your focus and just do what you have to do.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's going to lead you there.
I believe
and
it.
Robin, I tell you what, I can't thank the both of you enough because you are a wealth of information.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that is absolutely fantabulous. That's my word. I mean, but it's great. And I see how the two of you came together. When I plan for a guest, I always try to put two together that's going to mesh.
Can I tell you how we met? Do we have time?
Yeah, I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was working with a program called Communities in Schools, and we were looking for, it was a school to keep students in school. And so I'm not sure how we found
got
out
1 minute.
about Ruby Gaynor, but he was a student
Yes,
at
ma'am.
Ruby Gaynor High
There you
School
go.
and was part of the program. And this young man got the opportunity to interview Hillary Clinton.
Come on now.
Barack Obama.
And Barack Obama.
That's what I'm talking about.
Before the world knew who they were. Before the election, they
We're
were
about to
getting
put a
ready to
pin
roll.
right there.
Yes, ma'am.
But you see, he got a big platform started off. But everybody, it's been a fantastic day. I want to say thank you. I'm going to leave you as I do every single day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember to keep God first in whatever you do. If you handle your situation like that, I can guarantee you one thing without a fact. If you keep Him first, you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow at 9 o'clock for another day filled with nothing but sunshine right here at Sunshine's Corner. Know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. Look, make sure you check out Pookie. And don't forget, I got to do this real quick. Go to Amazon, purchase my book. It's that way you can get it now. Catch the rays of sunshine. You'll be glad you did. Bye for now. Love you with a perfect kind of love.